I'm at a point in my life, like, we all grew up in the streets, and we try to be better, but they labeled us felons, sent us back to jail. I had to fight against that the whole time to gain my respect and be who I am today.
What's up, King Son? Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Diddy just ruined the hell out of Meekeiha's birthday. Sorry, I mean Meek Mill. After he appeared in court the same day Meek was celebrating his 38th birthday and exposed him for being his boy toy. It turned out that Meek was actually not forced into spreading his cheeks open for Diddy like we first thought. He actually wanted the Diddler to clap him, and he even went as far as sleeping with some of the escorts that Diddy was bringing in from other countries. Meek has not been the same since he got exposed, and it doesn't look like he'll ever be. Some people even claim Meek was the one Terrence Howard was talking about when he said these rappers never go back to being the same after they bend over and allow Diddy to have his way with them. To be fair, Terrence is very homophobic, and he was probably saying that to insult gay people, but people also feel like there's some truth in what he said because Meek hasn't been the same since he got his cheeks played with by Diddy.
You know, but when you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
No, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right, but when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Meek Mill and Diddy's gay relationship was exposed last year when a music producer by the name Lil Rod sued Diddy for drinking and SAing him during a party. Apparently, Diddy had flown him into Miami to help produce his album, but not too long after getting there and cutting it up with Diddy, he quickly realized that Diddy had other plans for him and music production wasn't the #1 priority on that list. Diddy wanted to have him naked and defensiveless, and after several glasses of wine, he was too drunk to do anything, and Diddy had his way with him. Now this is where things get even crazier because somewhere in Lil Rod's lawsuit, he said Diddy had actually tried convincing him to be his boy toy in exchange for some industry favors. And in an effort to convince him, Diddy told him about how he had slept with Meek and Usher, and that he was also able to get Stevie J in bed with the promise of getting him a Grammy. And now, as you can already imagine, this had the internet in a frenzy, and everyone started accusing Meek, Usher, and Stevie J of being DL. But interesting enough, Meek was the only one who responded to the allegations, and he went into full denial mode. You know, the usual tactic that most DL men use when people start clocking their tea. He said, "I would trash any celebrity if they try to wild move on me. No pics, literally go crazy on them. That is all. I'm from Philly, man. All my guys always watch me around this wild industry. I'm from Philly. I don't do or freaky ass Molly. Nobody won't even offer me because I'm that heavy. No man or what would ever approach me about gay activity, and the whole place don't get flipped. Woke up seeing this on every blog like they know I'm coming. LOL." As if things couldn't get any worse for him, Diddy's ex-bodyguard leaked an audio of Meek allegedly getting his cheeks destroyed by Diddy in a secret room during a freak-off party. Even though it was just an audio tape, people were convinced that it was Meek because the person doing the bending sounded exactly like Meek. And the voice of the person giving it also sounded exactly like the Diddler. Not only that, but the man who leaked the audio claimed that he was Diddy's bodyguard a while back, and he personally recorded this audio after he saw them sneaking into a private room together during the middle of the party.
Champagne was spiked, son. Like, all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink, so I was playing that off like I don't drink. I smoke. Like I smoke and I had my own. Like everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that man in the room. Look, yes, I put my ear to the door and I brought the phone because Diddy started going in overdrive. I ain't know what the was going on, but I just heard balls slapping against cheeks. I heard struggling to take. I heard being like, yeah, daddy. Like when he started all that daddy this and daddy that, and then I heard some hollering and struggling. Like, yeah, I kept the phone there and I recorded all this shit because I was like, this Diddy rich.
Once all this tea started coming on, people began piecing everything together, and that's when they brought up some suspicious things that Meek had been involved in that seemed to confirm that Diddy really played with his hole. The first was this video of him cooling off his cheeks in the pool while Diddy recorded him and congratulated him for putting in that work. The video was already weird to people when it was posted, but it was even weirder now because looking back, it seems like they had just finished having several rounds of freak-offs and Meek was cooling off to prepare for another one. And as if all this wasn't incriminating enough, he was also caught following a gay page on Twitter that exclusively posts videos of black gay men pounding each other. But it didn't stop there, y'all. There was also an old song that Meek recorded a while back confessing to doing some unspeakable things Diddy also leaked online, and this also went super viral. Now you'd think after all this embarrassment and him getting exposed, he would try to stay out of the way so people would not link him to Diddy even more, but he did the complete opposite. A few months ago, Diddy's son, Christian Combs, put out a song in which he was basically clapping back at 50 Cent for having Diddy's name in his mouth. In the same song, Christian also seemingly admitted to Diddy stashing up some evidence which the police hadn't found yet. This turned into a long fight between Christian and 50, and 50 started trolling him for trying so hard to be gangsta when he's really just a spoiled Hollywood boy. Now, for some reason, Meek threw himself into it even though it had nothing to do with him. He responded to 50's post about Christian snitching on Diddy and accused 50 of being a mole in the industry who is secretly working with the feds. He said, because you federal, the street niggas in Queens know that. Why you trying to pick on a little boy? Your own son hates your guts, LOL. I'm so grateful to be on an island with my son and his friends on his birthday. Don't follow these guys. They miserable lives be terrible. They paying niggas to tear niggas down. I never seen black people laugh at black people getting indicted. He really be online enhancing people cases, and he got real statements against niggas. You ain't feed Mike Knox yet. Everybody on to you. And as you can already guess, 50 didn't let this slide, and he wasted no time in bringing up those boy toy allegations. He said, you sold 6K copies on your last project. You should not be on vacation. Still chasing the dream or embracing the nightmare. Standing by your man. I respect that. Interestingly enough, Meek was quick to clap back at 50 Cent, saying his last project sold 6K copies, but he didn't make any effort to deny 50's claims about Diddy being his man. Child, a mess. He said my last project sold 90K first week. Expensive pain. Ross did that last CD for fun to let me out of my contract because we rich and have some type of history. It's different, LOL. I don't even know how Cuban was talking to you. Your swag is extremely whack. But of course, 50 didn't let this slide, and he responded by posting a video of Meek seductively singing a love song to Diddy at a party with the caption, I commend you for being a strong, supportive woman for your man, Meek. Stay by his side and together you guys may have a good life. God bless. A mess. Unfortunately, this isn't the end for Meek because just when he was gearing up to celebrate his birthday, Diddy's trial also started, and word on the street is he's gonna be thrown into it even more than he already has. Diddy's trial started on May 5th and Meek's birthday was on May 6th, but he wasn't even able to celebrate it because he now has to worry about what is going to be said about him during that trial. One person said, I think it's so sad that either this man Meek Mill was SA'd or was a willing participant in homosexual activities. Either way, instead of people making fun of him, they should be supporting him and helping him get through this. Another person said, this grown man consented to everything he did and has done. He would only be a victim if he told Diddy no and Diddy retaliated with force. Meek accepted and consented to the debauchery first, and then control was inflicted. This disqualifies him as a victim. If he is a victim, he is a victim of his own greed. That told him to consent to unspeakable acts. But now I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about Meekeiha getting exposed by Diddy on his birthday? And do y'all think the things he allegedly did with Diddy were consensual or Diddy took advantage of him? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.